Good morning, everyone. It's Tess, and today is tip 182. I know I'm not doing this at my normal time. I'm building a new, who knows what time I'll start doing these permanently. I guess I'm a little more confident that I don't have to do it at 5 a.m. But I thought today I'd talk a little bit about pets. I need a brief brain break before I dig into the work again. So I thought I would do a live and I'd talk about pets and how they're helpful to us on our journey and actually for our health in general. And I found an article with probably nearly 30 tips on why pets are good for you. And I thought I would actually share this because, to be honest, I had a great time this past weekend, and I know I told you guys about it yesterday, but one of my cute memories is going to be the cat that walked me to the door as I left on Sunday. It was so cute. It was like walking step by step with me as I left because we'd made friends while I was there. So I thought what I would share today is the reasons pets are good for us and what they provide us and what we could provide them. So the first tip the first thing they say is that animals can make people feel good. And I do know that. I enjoy spending time with my animals. But the one thing they talk about is that animals provide a mood boost. Your body actually goes through physical changes in the time that you spend with an animal or watching a fish tank. And I know I used to do that when I was younger. I'd have fish tanks and you could watch the fish tank and it was meditative in nature. The reasons are that it reduces cortisol, which we know is a stress hormone, and it also increases serotonin, which is a feel-good chemical. So pets do have uses, and that's probably why so many of us are attached to our animals. And better health. We're all looking for better health. It does talk about blood pressure. A study of 240 married couples. Pet owners had lower blood pressure and lower heart rate. So those are definitely benefits we're all looking for in a time of stress. I'm trying to think, and I don't think there are many members of my family that don't own pets or aren't very attached to nature's pets, like bunnies or butterflies or something even outdoors. So even if we don't own them that we take care of, I think we see them in nature. Talks about pets will also provide lower cholesterol, and that people with pets tend to have lower cholesterol, triglycerides compared to those who don't own pets. They help your heart. In a 20-year study, people who never owned a cat were 40% more likely to die of a heart attack than those who had. Wow, that's interesting. I better be extra good and give an extra treat to the cats today. It says that animals will also ease depression. It's because they're unconditional. And you walk with them, you groom them, you play with them, so it's a distraction. It's a way to clear your mind of the nonsense that kind of sometimes pollutes it. It boosts your fitness. We all know you walk dogs. Some try to walk cats. I've never really had much luck with that. I know some people do pull it off, but I myself don't. They're faithful exercise buddies. Fewer strokes among cat owners is another point. They say cats often become the focus of their owner's interest, which diverts them from other stressful situations. So all in all, I think nature, animals, anything like that is a diversion from things that will cause your heart to race or your stress levels to increase. Again, they talk about more connections. It helps you to stay engaged with others, and it also gives you something in common to talk about with them. This was interesting. I really thought this was interesting. Fewer allergies and stronger immunities. They're less likely to develop if you have pets in the house. They did say that it's the same for kids who live on farms. The higher levels in the immune system show stronger, it lets the kids show stronger immune systems. It helps keep them healthy as they get longer. I think it's almost like the idea of an allergy shot. An allergy shot actually gives you a little bit of an introduction to certain things so that you overcome it. And I think that's what happens when you actually have a pet in the house. Snack alarm, this is very true. Mine are an alarm in the morning. If I don't get up and give them a treat, they will whine. But that's my fault. I trained them to be that way. It says, and I know this to be true, pet counselors. When I worked in the healthcare system that's local here, we actually had programs where they would take a pet in to try it because it was helpful to the patients in the hospital for long term. So they would actually interview pets and then have the pet owners bring them in as a form of stress relief for patients in hospitals. And they were doing a lot of work with that at the healthcare system that I worked for. And I think they had one day a week at different healthcare systems, they'd bring them in. Partners in better cancer care. They were saying, and I've heard this before, animals sometimes will smell. They can recognize a smell on a person, and it they've shown that that has been useful to people. They also talk about that pets are helpful to children overcoming limitations of ADHD. Pets need to play, pets need routines, and then it also helps the kids to burn off extra energy. Autism, it says that sensory integration, and that's true. There's a sensory overload with autistic and autistic children, and it says that it gets the kids used to the feeling of the fur against their skin and certain smells or sounds, because sounds do affect them, that sensory overload. So they said that animals can be very useful in helping children to adapt, and it also helps to calm them when they work with animals. So many benefits. Stronger bones, walking your animal gets your bones out there and helps you to stay healthier. Cats, stretch with your cat. If you watch a cat, they stretch all day long. So I guess if we mimic them or stretch when they do, we can be a little healthier. Well, good morning, Thomas. Good to see you. Also talks about animals will help you manage stress together. It talks about, like, you can follow the same routine. If your animal has arthritis, keep your medicine with the animals, just don't mix them up. And you guys can do your workouts and your activities together just to keep yourself on a regular schedule. It also says that if somebody has a stroke, animals, in particular horses, have helped people to, it's helped them because they were weaker. It helps them to get stronger. So that's interesting. I didn't know that. Relief from rheumatoid arthritis. They said it comes from people are super sensitive. It says, but perhaps the best help comes from those dogs or cats that seem to be super sensitive to when people don't feel well. So this is for rheumatoid arthritis. Sometimes their presence can make you feel better. And I think that is true. I've noticed even if I'm having a down day, that's inevitably when the animals are like right at attention all the time. It's like they're watching you. Something's not right. We know something's not right, and they're right there with you. Soothing for chronic pain. I do think it's a diversion, just like meditation and nature. And I even think those who don't own pets, that idea of watching bunnies or watching butterflies or watching birds, that diversion kind of just helps make your stress levels lower, and that's always a good thing. Now, this one was an interesting one too, and I have heard this before. Seizure dogs. So they have dogs that are trained to live and work with people that have epilepsy. The working dogs, and like I said, my healthcare system I worked for before my current job actually used animals, and we had service dogs in this home office that were working with people that worked in the home office. Because what I didn't know, and somebody explained it to me, is you can't pet a service dog. If they're in service, you're not supposed to treat them like a regular pet. They have a job and you're supposed to leave them alone. But it is kind of interesting that they are so useful in so many things. We know they use them for trying to track drugs, but also in helping people who are struggling with medical conditions. And more independence. There are specially trained dogs that do tasks that help people with Parkinson's disease with their independence. They can pick up dropped items and fetch for things that you ask for. They can also sense when a person's Parkinson freezes and touch the foot to help the person keep walking again. And I do remember that because I had a family member with Parkinson's. They didn't have an animal, but that freezing thing, I remember that. So the idea that a pet could recognize it and touch you and help you to keep moving forward, it's just amazing. I thought that was just great. A better quality of life. I'm going to say that's true. They really, depending on the pet you have, they really don't require a lot of care, and they're always there. If you don't feel good, they'll be right there next to you. And if they don't feel good, you can recognize it too. And it's just a nice thing to do, and it's enjoyable. If you look at it the right way, it's definitely enjoyable. I know I mentioned this before, but they do talk about that there are therapy dogs and even cats like pet-a-pets that are useful in nursing homes and hospitals. And I know I mentioned before that one of the hospital systems I worked for was doing studies on that at the time I was leaving, and actually had programs into play where people would come in once a week with interviewed animals that had gone through training to make sure that they were okay to come in the office, because they found that it was so helpful to the healing of people that were having extended stays. And here it goes right back to that an animal is a calming presence, and it helps caregivers feel less burdened. And I think that's an amazing thing and such a great thing. Well, hi, Tay. It's so good to see you. And now they're talking about animal-assisted therapies. Researchers are studying what happens when they bring specially trained animals into clinical settings, such as hospitals and nursing homes. And I think that is a great thing. Animals love attention, and sometimes people get busy and don't have the time to spend with them. So why not share them in the communities where it can really truly be helpful to someone? I miss you, Tay. So good to see you. So I think, like I said, it was just interesting because this past weekend I got to meet some new animals, and it was just cute how the one walked me to the door when I was leaving. Now, mind you, I had to direct it back a little bit, just a step or two to get to the food bowl so I could escape, because I didn't want it to escape with me. But animals are a great tool if you do feel lonely, or if you do know of somebody that may be alone. I know some of my great aunts or great uncles that were on their own had animals, and they're just a sense of companionship and a sense of relief if you're having struggles. I'll go over a short list real quick of what the benefits are of having animals, because remember, this is all about health, and if you can find a tool that helps you or someone close to you, then maybe it's something to consider. And if you're afraid of jumping into the animal right away, maybe you try one of those pet-a-pet programs, or maybe someone has an animal that you can borrow for a little bit just to see how it goes for someone who may need a little bit of company because life gets so busy. So this short list I'm taking from a different article that I pulled, and it was there was a study by Friedman and other scientists that suggests that animals can lower blood pressure, cholesterol, and triglyceride levels, reduce reliance on medications, reduce physical pain, increase physical activity, increase autonomic nervous system activity, stimulate mental capacity, and improve memory recall and event sequencing. They provide comfort. They stimulate and release serotonin, prolactin, and oxytocin. Very careful what I say there. Hello, Michelle. Good to see you. So yeah, so animals can help you release serotonin, prolactin, oxytocin, and hormones that elevate our mood. They calm anxiety, slow breathing, reduce loneliness and depression, promote social interaction, and provide a happy distraction. And I'm going to say that is all the way around. Give it a chance, or if you know someone that's on their own, maybe think about getting them something. It will keep you entertained. They always do something funny, and you just kind of laugh. I always laugh because I have a window that's above stairs, and inevitably about once a year the one cat will try to jump into that window, and I'm like, you shouldn't do it. I've tried to block it, but I just laugh. He tries about once a year, and I think now at his age he's not even trying anymore. But they just provide comic relief, and it's just something you can have fun with, because they are playful, they are fun, and they are instinctive. If you're not on it, they know it, and they will actually like follow you around to make sure that nothing's going to happen. But give it a try if you haven't, and spend some time with people around you, and notice the animals. Even if it's that you don't want one in your own house, maybe notice. I have a baby bunny that I keep watching eat in the morning, because it tends to like to be around one of the windows in the back of the house. So I'll watch it eat every morning. I'm not getting too close to it because I don't want it to get comfortable with people, but I just watch it every morning, and I like that it's found a home here at my house. So I hope you guys all have a beautiful, beautiful day, and find something warm and comforting today to make your day beautiful. There's a lot out there if you just give yourself a chance to see it. And it doesn't have to be big. It can be just a small little butterfly or a bird that's talking a little bit to you as you're walking to go to your car or to head to your next meeting. Have a beautiful day, and thank you, everyone.